a little bit larger share of that global employment in manufacturing.
But not much.
But over the long run, it won't solve India's problems.
That's very interesting, because right now in this very state, the state of West Bengal, there's a big debate about whether we can attract more manufacturing units to come in, because we believe, or at least the government believes, that it's manufacture which is going to lead us out of the unemployment problem. But from what you said, that's probably not quite the right way of thinking. Am I?
Yeah. Well, you're competing for manufacturing jobs with all the other emerging markets in developing countries.
Right, exactly.
And global demand for manufacturing is not increasing as fast as productivity.
Exactly.
But there's no reason why you shouldn't get a somewhat larger share. So it's part of a comprehensive strategy. I think there is some room. But if it's going to happen in a significant way, you're going to have to solve the land problem.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to come to that land problem. No, you've already, I have heard you make some statements. In fact, the dailies today are full of your statements on this land problem. But let me nonetheless repeat that question to you. The government here believes that if manufacture is to come here at all, it has to fend for itself. The government is not going to act as a facilitator for acquisition of land. But the industries which are not yet located here, which are coming from outside the borders of the state, they are still worried about whether this is feasible at all. Because if you take agricultural land, the plots are so small that one manufacturer would have to speak to thousands of small landowners, and that's literally impossible. So they want the help of the government, but the government thinks that that's not the right thing to do.
The government is partially right that there should not be a subsidy.
Yeah, okay. Right.
But that's not the issue.
Not the issue.
The issue is that land is very fragmented.
Exactly.
If there were lots of large plots, as there are in the United States, where you can find big landowners and you have many of them, you can negotiate, you have a competitive market, the market works well. When you have fragmented markets, the market does not work well.
Yes. Exactly.
Transaction costs are very high,
yes.
And there's a problem that economists call the hold-up problem.
Right.
That 1, 2, 3, 4 people can say, now that you bought all the other land, we're holding right in the middle. We can stop you.
Precisely.
And
extract
what we say in American, an arm and a leg, to try to take away the. And if many of them do it, obviously the profitability of the firm goes down the drain, and look for other places, either where there are large land holdings or places where the government is willing to do what it has to do. So I think the notion that the market by itself can solve this problem in the Indian context, or the context of West Bengal, is naive. It doesn't reflect the reality. Real transaction costs, real problems of bargaining asymmetries that almost surely will be a major impediment, not only to manufacturing, let me say, but to electric power plants, to the infrastructure of the country, whether it's in the state, whether it's in the public sector or in the private sector.
Yes. I'll just go in a slightly different direction, not about the economy, but about education in general. You have come visiting two of our most famous educational institutions, and the one you visited this morning, that's being converted to that's already been converted to a university. As you said, that you're more used to calling it Presidency College, but it's really a university. And the important question they're facing now is how to raise it to an institute of excellence. Now, the obvious question is, how do you recruit good faculty? They are now facing this problem that the faculty is mediocre. I mean, that's well understood. That has happened over time, unfortunately, but that is true. So there is a mentor group now with people from, you probably know some of them, Abhijit Banerjee, you know, definitely, and a few others. Now, they're trying very hard to get faculty, good faculty, to come over. But basically, what it amounts to is to try and sort of set up a job market in America or England for coming to Presidency University to teach here. For this to succeed, what it appears to me that I have to become an enemy of America, because if they lose jobs in America, they would probably flock here or somewhere else, So it seems to me that this kind of a policy to work, something has to turn really, really sour in America. How successful do you think this effort is going to be? What's your gut feeling about this?
Well, there are two parts to make any institution attractive to academics. One is the quality of the intellectual environment.
Right.
Research facilities,
right.
Quality of students. Now, the excitement of the work.
Yes.
Presidency University has some big advantages. You get some very bright students.
Exactly. Even now.
You have some of the most difficult problems to solve.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very much on the positive side. But the resources are not where they should be.
Sure, absolutely.
And that relates to the second problem. Obviously, faculty need to live.
Yes.
And that means salaries.
Absolutely.
And the salaries in the universities have not kept up with the private sector. So that's, again, a second
and there's
problem.
a difference between the state salaries and the central salaries. You see, the state salaries are much lower, so that's not the problem.
Now, I don't think that India will only succeed if America fails. I don't view it in that.
Okay, yeah.
I think that one of the big advantages that Presidency University has is that you have a lot of graduates who feel very loyal to India.
They do, yes.
And want to make a contribution in Indian development. Mm-hmm. So I think you can attract back a number of them full-time, some of them probably part-time. Mm-hmm. It may be you have to be creative in the kinds of institutional arrangements, sometimes joint appointments across borders.
Uh-huh.
I think one has to be creative in doing it, but I don't think that one should just think of this as a zero-sum game.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving us your time.
Okay. Thank you. Presidency University has some big advantages. You get some very bright students.
The government is not going to act as a facilitator for acquisition of land.
Right. But that's not the issue. The issue is that land is very fragmented.